Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in, everyone. Happy Friday. We are so excited, so happy that you are joining us here today. Vibes are already immaculate, but they're going to get better as the show goes on. Kendall, Valenzuela, Adam Ronis with you for the next couple of hours, breaking down Thursday Night Football, which, Adam, by the way, vibes were not immaculate in that game, but we're going to break that one down. We've got a great show planned out for you guys, and of course, answering as many of those start-sit questions that I know are going to come our way. At K Valenzuela 17, at Adam Ronis over there on X. Adam, how you doing? How's it going?
I'm doing fine. How about you? Going to the
Great.
Sabrina Carpenter
It
concert
was so
last night, and
fun.
you're actually here today.
I know. It's like, come on. I always show up unless I'm sick. Then I don't show up. But it was so fun. It was pouring down rain. I was a little bit nervous, like you, playing softball, but a little bit different. I was like, ooh, I don't want to get sick. But it was great. I was back home 12:45, and here I am.
An
5 hours of
all-nighter for
sleep.
you,
I know.
12:45 a.m.
It's
That's an
crazy.
all-nighter.
I might as well
Did you
just
go to
stayed up.
sleep at 1?
No, 12:46.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I
Yeah,
should have
yeah,
known.
come on. What are we doing? Yeah, we're not messing around there. We go straight to bed. And I
Uh,
am someone that can just, unlike you, fall asleep right away. So
yeah, I'm
lay
jealous of
down,
all of
woke
you
up,
people who
five and
can
a half
do
hours,
that.
5 hours of sleep. It was good. I
Still
take it
got
you
more
didn't.
sleep than me.
I was just
Good
gonna say, I
job.
take it you didn't sleep well. Come on.
No, not
What are we
much.
doing? No, it
I
was
don't
so
know.
fun. I heard all your favorite songs, Espresso being the best. She ended with Espresso. It was so good.
I'm glad you
A
had
great
fun.
time. Thank you. I did not have fun though. So I was actually able to, I was bouncing back and forth between the radio broadcast on Sirius XM, and then once we got to a restaurant that we were eating at, they were playing the game. What the heck happened last night? What are we doing? I couldn't believe. And then when I had to leave, I had to check the stats and box score, Adam. After everything, I say to myself, okay, Houston takes down the Josh Allen led Buffalo Bills, and then you look further. So you say, okay, 23-19. What are we looking at here? Josh Allen sacked 8 times to get this win. I mean, you said yesterday before we went off air that this was going to be a closer game because of how good this Houston Texans defense is, but they show up, they beat Josh Allen, forced 3 takeaways, a fumble, 2 interceptions. I mean, now the Bills obviously still in playoff contention here, but they fall to 7-4. You're looking at the Houston Texans 6-5, making their case for a playoff push as well. What the heck happened with Josh Allen and the Bills last night?
Yeah, he was just under a lot of pressure. In fact, this final score is not really indicative of what happened because I thought the Bills got dominated in this game. The fact that they were only down 4 and lost by 4 really doesn't tell the story because
Okay.
the Texans defense dominated Josh Allen. He was under constant pressure, and the offense struggled again. The receivers just cannot get open.
What a shock.
It's a problem that we talk about all the time. Khalil Shakir made a couple of nice plays. They had actually a nice hook and ladder on 4th and 27.
Yeah.
That was insane to keep them alive. But yeah, just the lack of playmakers, the offensive line, backup right tackle in this game. And that's not going to get it done against Will Anderson, who came through for my IDP team.
Hey, there we go.
Two and a
That's
half
a win.
sacks, 6 tackles. Let's go.
There we
So,
go.
but yeah, another disappointing game here for the Bills offense, which we've kind of seen this year at times. Like every time you think, all right, here we go, the Bills are ready to take off, they go back to a performance like last night. And you do have to give the Texans defense a lot of credit. They've
Oh, for
been
sure.
the best defense this year. That's what's amazing about this team. If they could somehow find a way to score in the red zone, they might actually be better because that's been one of their biggest problems is scoring once they get inside the red zone. But a big win for them, and yeah, it just questions now the Bills and how far they can go in the postseason. Because I think going into this week, they were actually the best odds to come out of the AFC.
Yeah. That's what you had said earlier in the
Yeah, which
I
look,
don't know.
it's easy to dismiss the Bills now based on what we saw last night, and a lot of people are doing that. The only reason why I can't yet is just it is so wide open in the AFC, and you got a lot of inexperienced teams at the top.
It is, but how many times can we keep talking about the Buffalo Bills like this? I mean, it feels like you look at them again against Buffalo. You're looking at the Texans defense, who deserves so much credit. They had such a great game, forced those 3 turnovers, but they held them. Like you say that the box score doesn't really show what the game was. I mean, they technically held them to 12 points because one of the Buffalo's touchdowns, right, was the 97-yard punt return by Ray Davis. So you look at that even further. You say, okay, 12 total points there. Josh Allen, 253 yards, no touchdowns for the first time since since week 2. They won that game against the New York Jets, but again, 8 sacks, and this isn't the Josh Allen getting you what, 8 fantasy points, 8.12 fantasy points. I mean, that is not a good way to start the week. We know, like you said, it's Buffalo. It feels like they're going to continuously give us these back and forth performances this season, but it's glaring on the offensive side that it's a receiver problem. It's honestly, Adam, we can start talking about a play calling problem
Oh
that they
yeah,
need
there was a
to. I
fourth and
mean,
one play that was
what are we
atrocious.
doing?
Did you see that play?
I did. I
Yeah, Josh
rewatched
Allen
and
went back 5 yards when they need
yes.
fourth and one to hand it to Cook. I mean, come
I
on.
don't know. Like at some point, and I know Buffalo Bills fans are already there with the play calling, but at some point, like the fourth loss in 7 games, they look vulnerable. They don't look dangerous. That's one thing we know for sure is I don't think anyone's going up against Buffalo right now and saying, "Ooh, really a toughest matchup we're going to face." It's just not like that anymore. And I think the most disappointing part for Buffalo is that inconsistency feels to be their consistency this year, and they just continue to go back and forth. We can talk about receiver problems. Defense stepped up, but still back and forths like this, and it just feels glaring that they are really missing key pieces for this team to make a push again. And the most disappointing part, Adam, is that they have Josh Allen. So it just feels like a waste. I mean, you've got this great quarterback, and I'm sure, like we said, they're still sitting at 7-4. They're going to make this playoff push, but it just doesn't feel like they can go far enough with the pieces that they have right now.
Yeah, it definitely feels that way because it becomes a glaring factor in some of these big games. And 3 turnovers is really why they lost this game. They were able to move the football. They did average 4.9 yards per play. They did convert 3 fourth downs, but, with turning the ball over, that's always going to get you beat, especially against a good defense like the Texans. So,
Yeah.
Texas just did enough to get by here. And I think most people probably had the under in this game. It was 43.5. And at halftime, you were probably thinking you were in
You're like,
trouble.
yeah, there we
And then
go.
only 6 points in the second half, and the under cashes. So one of those weird sweats where if you had the under, you probably thought you lost at halftime. And then you're like, wow, somehow that cashed.
So awful. Khalil Shakir finished. So was Khalil Shakir, that was mostly not garbage time, but that
No.
was towards the end, right? Or was he getting that in the beginning too?
Well, he
8
had a key.
receptions, 110
He had a
for
key
him.
fumble in this game.
Oh,
He
okay.
deep in Texans territory, and the Texans could only turn that into a field goal. I mean, he had the hook and ladder picked up a good amount of yards, but he also had a long reception before that. I mean, he had 10 targets, so he
Yeah.
bounced back in this game. It's everyone else did nothing.
Perfect. Just what we need for our fantasy football teams. I mean, James Cook, 17 carries, right, 116 yards, that one touchdown early. I was hearing that on the radio, but yeah, Adam, I don't know what you do here when you're looking at the receivers and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 again. 10 players having one reception, or at least one reception, I should say. Khalil Shakir finishing with 8 receptions, and then the next closest being Ty Johnson with 3. Jackson Haas for 2. Josh Palmer had 2 for 21. It's not good. We're going to keep saying this. It just feels like a receiver problem. Keon Coleman wasn't active in this game again. I don't know how long that's going to last, but it's not like they're one Keon Coleman away from winning games like this. So a downgrade for you or just neutral right now? Because it is just Josh Allen. You're really only playing Josh Allen,
And
though, and
James
James
Cook.
Cook.
You
That's
could play
it.
Shakir. I think Shakir too.
Okay.
He has a high floor every week. They need Dalton Kincaid back though.
No kidding. I don't even want to say feels like it would be next week because they ruled him out a little bit early well, it was
Yeah,
a
it was a
Thursday
short
game,
week
but
though.
yeah.
It's a hamstring injury, so those, sometimes it's a week or two, sometimes it's
Hmm.
a lot longer, and then we've seen two players come back from that and not be effective immediately. So yeah, the Bills are definitely putting themselves in a tough position here,
No
uh,
kidding. The other
and
side, though,
it's actually not good for Kansas City that they lost too. Like all the teams directly in front of Kansas City have beaten them. Because remember, the
not
Bills
good.
beat the Chiefs. So if
This is
there's
going
like
to
a
be a
tiebreaker,
wild
it
playoff
is.
push. It's going to be
Yeah.
fun. I kind of like it though, don't you? I know I still like dominant teams and everything else like that, but this is kind of fun where it's so wide open here. It's going to
Well,
be a fun
it
push.
just makes every game that a lot of these teams play even more important.
Yeah. On the you want to hit the other side here? Woody Marks? good day for Woody Marks. I mean, well, when you're looking at it, I know, but career day technically for him. You wish you got a little bit more, 7.9 fantasy points. Same thing that we talked about here, but you had 16 carries, 74 yards, one reception. I think he had negative yardage on that one, but off the one target. What'd you see here?
I mean, he looked fine. They were using Nick Chubb a little bit, mixing him in. They took they were down to the 2, and then they take him out, bring in Chubb, who gets hit for a loss.
Yeah.
Again, this is a kind of what we've been repeating the last couple weeks, where the usage has been great, and he's taken over the backfield. But fantasy-wise, it was a disappointing day because he didn't find the end zone. You're going to be happy with 17 touches. It just could have been a little bit better for fantasy. I think you had to start him if you had him in most instances. I know I did, but obviously a touchdown would have been nice, would have given him a better day. But certainly is taking over this backfield. I'm a little surprised, too, he wasn't involved in the passing game much because we know he can do things there. And it's been erratic with his usage in the passing game. Just 2 targets the last 2 games. Before that, he had a stretch of 15 targets over 4. So we need to see that increase too to help his floor because, again, this offensive line is not great run blocking. We knew against the Bills he could have one of his better games, and he did. That was a season high in rushing yards. So, well, not surprising, but you would have just liked a touchdown to have a better day or a few more receptions in the passing game. But overall, for the future ahead, you feel good about his usage. But again, behind this offensive line, he's going to have to break off maybe a long touchdown run because when they get near the goal line and in the red zone, their play calling stinks and they just cannot get these short touchdowns.
You're going to want to see the change eventually, though. I mean, how many weeks can we say, Adam, that he's taken over the RB1 job, but it's just not equating to fantasy points? That's the more disappointing part for me because this was a good matchup for him to go and, score at least, I was hoping for at least 12, right? Some people were as well, based on where you drafted him because their rushing defense, the Bills, has been bad. And so I thought, okay, this is the part to take advantage of. But 2 weeks now in a row where I know we're going to talk with Dwayne next week and he'll say, well, he has taken over the RB1 job. We have, the snaps and the rushing attempts, but man, the fantasy points just aren't coming. Last week he had 11.1 off 72% of the snaps, say 78% of the rushing attempts. Definitely disappointing.
Yeah, but I think it's probably someone that you're going to have to stick with here. He played 69% of the snaps, Nick Chubb only 22%. So, yeah, it depends on who you have, but I know in a few leagues I have him. I've been rolling him out there. I'll probably continue to do so, and you got to hope eventually he has a game where he can score a touchdown or 2. But, yeah, I still think the offensive line is not great run blocking, and we have seen that because Marks he does that. He has 2 touchdowns on the season, rushing, 2 receiving.
Mm-hmm. The receiving work is where he'll really, if they get him involved anywhere there, and maybe we see that feels like CJ Stroud will be back next week. That's really what the reports are saying. We know we got Davis Mills in this one, but yeah, the receiving work for Woody Marks would help because, like I said, 1 reception, negative 5 yards. Not good. Off only 1 target too. So it wasn't like there were multiple looks at him. It just wasn't there. So last one here, just looking at just the Texans offense passing game as a whole. I mean, Davis Mills again got this start, but they were really able to just limit the impact of Nico Collins here in this one. He'd been targeted 25 times, 16 receptions in those first 2 games with Mills, but now this one held to 3 targets, 3 receptions, 55 yards. Not very good. I saw he was banged up. Was that good? Did he get the air knocked out of him, or was it a rib thing?
I don't. It was. He was trying to extend a play after a catch and fell. They didn't really say. Yeah, he. I didn't see him miss any time. They didn't say exactly what it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's been really good. Just a down game for him. They just went to Jayden Higgins a lot. It was not good early on. Higgins had like all these targets and nothing to show for it. Then eventually scored a touchdown. But he had 9
was
targets.
Was that on him, or were they catchable, or was it him?
Some poor throws. He couldn't get his feet inbounds on a couple plays. So, but yeah, I think you're very encouraged with the usage of Higgins. We've seen it slowly rise, and this was a game where he led the team in targets with 9, did find the end zone. Christian Kirk was second
Yeah,
on the
what do we
team in
can we stop?
targets.
Can we
I
stop
know.
with
No one's
Christian
playing
Kirk?
Christian Kirk anymore.
No, you love Christian Kirk. He got 16 fantasy points if someone did start him. Can we stop though? I'm good. We're done.
I could have used this early in the year when he was playing. Uh,
Do you still have him on teams that you're
no, I
playing in?
dumped him a while ago. I'm not waiting around no more. Once he got hurt the second time, I said, all right, I'm done.
The second, I mean, it's every single year. We just have to expect it with Christian. No offense, Christian Kirk. I'm sorry. 5 for 54, 1 touchdown as well. 16 fantasy points, 6 targets. Yeah, we'll see what we'll see what this team looks like. Obviously, when CJ Stroud comes back, because we haven't seen him for a while. But who do
Well,
they play next?
the
What?
Colts
Oh
next week.
no.
That is a massive game, especially if the Colts lose to the Chiefs this week.
Oh, do you think they
Boy,
say, "Hey, David"? I mean, has Davis Mills done better than CJ Stroud in these games? If we look at it from from the whole standpoint.
so Mills got off to an awful start yesterday. He was missing a lot of
Yes.
throws, and he got better. But he's kind of managed the game. He's not carried them to victories here.
But is CJ Stroud?
No.
Maybe they're just like, maybe we're going sideways here. Maybe an upgrade with CJ Stroud.
Stroud's
It hasn't
passing
been
these
amazing.
concussion tests, and the Texans are telling us he's failing. That's what's happening.
Yeah, stop, get out of here. They're like Davis Mills one more time. It's like us with Kyler Murray. Like, I don't know. You seem, maybe stay back out there. Davis Mills, though, if I know a couple people that had to stream him, unfortunately, but still good 14.52 fantasy points overall. Can't believe we're talking about the Bills like this, but here we are, a great day for that Texans defense, and we'll see. Yeah, we'll see what the Bills. I mean, what are the Bills going to do? This is just how they have to look the rest of the way. 7-4 though, so you're still in it. But they are falling back in their chase for that AFC East with the New England Patriots. That'll be a big game this weekend for them as well. We're going to continue on though. So, speaking of, I've got the biggest questions for Week 12. I do want to talk about Daniel Jones and our expectations for him this weekend. Shedeur Sanders got a couple questions about him as well. We're going to break it down. Make sure you're sending us those questions at Valenzuela 17 at Adam Ronis over there on X. We're going to do all of that here coming up next. This is how I felt pouring my Folgers coffee this morning, Adam.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, here we go. We're back. We're ready. No show is going to miss me when I've got Folgers ready to go. Yeah. No, I'm good. Look at how I'm yeah, slept well. Slept better than you.
You definitely did.
Win. A win is a win. Really, it truly is. Biggest, I have no way to easily transition into the biggest Week 12 questions, but we can try it here. And by the way, at Valenzuela 17 at Adam Ronis over there on X, I see questions coming in. So we're going to start getting to as many of those as we can. Appreciate everyone hanging out with us though on this Friday here. So one big question that I have for you, just out of pure curiosity, Daniel Jones. Coming off the bye week, they obviously have a huge game going this weekend, going up against Kansas City. That's going to be a great game in the early slate too, by the way. But that's fine. Daniel Jones, do you think he's turning back into the Daniel Jones we've seen for his, most of his career, or do we think that that was just a little bit of a slump? Because when we look at some of the stats, he threw more picks, took more sacks, and committed 4 more fumbles over weeks 9 and 10 than he had previously all season. So his turnover worthy play percentage, it went from first to second worst. You saw the pressure to sack rate increase. You saw a lot of not good things with this Colts team where we still like him. We've got fantasy assets, obviously, on both sides. Daniel Jones is someone that you could have picked up off the waiver wire because I don't think people were drafting him. But if you picked him up off the waiver wire, he's been giving you good weeks. But what kind of Daniel Jones do we think we see after their bye?
I don't know if you're going to see a good one this week. This is a desperate Kansas City team, and they've been pretty good of limiting quarterbacks. So I know Nick's had a pretty good day down the stretch, especially. But the one thing, though, the Chiefs have really struggled to put pressure on quarterbacks. And if they can't get pressure on Jones, that's where he could be good. But the last couple games, we've seen him get sacked more. 12 sacks over the last 2 games, 4 interceptions over the last 2 games, losing the fumbles too. Mm-hmm. So you got to hope that the bye week they were able to look at some things and clean it up. But this is definitely a tough spot for him against Kansas City, a very desperate Kansas City team. You could say they were desperate last week too, but
it's true.
Denver's defense really good. It was in Denver, divisional game, but really this is desperate because if the Chiefs lose this game, that might be it.
This is must win.
Yeah.
I thought we already were in must win territory, to be totally honest. I know there's ways that they get there, but this is about as crucial of a game as you can get for Kansas City.
The
What was
problem
that?
for them is that all the teams directly in front of them have beaten them head to head. So
Mm.
they've lost to Jacksonville, they lost to Buffalo, they've lost to the Chargers. Now they get another game against the Chargers. So yeah, they can't afford to lose these games.
It'll be a great one though. This is one we've had like circled on the calendar for a while, and we'll see what kind. Again, we'll see what Daniel Jones we get in this game. You do obviously downgrade him a little bit just because more of a matchup play than anything else. But when you look at the stats, you also have to look at. I mean, Alec Pierce, he's on pace for a career year, and he's on the wide receiver 3 radar for us. He's been someone we've talked about week in and week out as a potential flex play, but he's averaging. I mean, the averages at him are really good. 8.8 targets. You got 91.5 yards, 14.9 fantasy points per game in the last, I want to say, 4 games. Because early in the season, the production wasn't there and it wasn't good. It was basically just like, well, I hope he's able to catch one of these deep passes or finds the end zone while doing that. But he's really come along here. I know that Colts receivers as a whole, I've downgraded just a little bit because of this Chiefs defense. They've allowed the 7th fewest fantasy points to receivers and actually only 9 passing touchdowns on the season as well. So just a little bit of a downgrade. That doesn't mean you're not, flexing Alec Pierce. That doesn't mean you're not starting Michael Pittman Jr. But just one to look at here, and maybe, and yeah, Downs is on the radar as well. But the risk is just a little bit higher than usual.
Yeah, again, the Chiefs defense has been pretty solid. They do give up some production to receivers, but there's no way all of these guys are going to come through. But Pierce has become a big piece of the offense. Jones
Yeah.
taking shots to him deep, and Pierce has been making big plays. He's been a top 25 receiver in 3 of the last 4 games.
Wow. It's been good. So we'll see what kind of we can't have Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold reverting. We can't have them both doing that at the same time, right? We
Yeah,
deserve
we can.
something nice. Why would
Things
you
getting
say
back
that?
to normal.
Stop. Stop. I swear. Don't do that. We can't see. We have to pick one or the other. As a Seahawks fan, you know what I would choose, but that's it's fine. We have to have nice fantasy things. All right. So that was again the Colts going up against the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll see. Who are you take if you had to pick straight up, are you taking the Chiefs in that game? That's a tough one.
Yeah, I would. I just cannot see this team fall into 5-6. Do you
Well, it's
think
got to be a really high
the
is
NFL
that high team
cannot have a
No.
Patrick Mahomes team out of the playoffs?
Could
What
you
would be
imagine?
great is if the Chiefs lost this week and then on Thanksgiving, Dallas beats them to
Oh,
really
that would
put
be
the.
it. I mean, this would really be it this weekend, but that would be
But
yeah.
I don't believe the Chiefs are dead until they're officially eliminated.
Yeah, they're kind of scary. They're scary in a way where you just everyone I've done it before too. You write them off and then all of a sudden they're storming back and you say, "Oh, okay. Well, there's the Chiefs. Something we knew." What's this over under at? What's the total at?
49 and a half.
Wow. Okay. That's pretty good. As long as
That
we're
is
we're
a
getting the fantasy points. There's a lot of fantasy players in this one as well. I mean, Kelsey, Warren, Pittman Jr., like we said, Rushy Rice, JT, Daniel Jones, Patrick Mahomes. So yeah, this is going to be a really good game this weekend. Maybe not the same that we can say for one Shedeur Sanders. I don't think there's much to talk about here because Shedeur Sanders is playing, and I hope that as the season progresses, if we continue to see him, it gets a little bit better. But over those it was 2 quarters that we saw Sanders last week. He had 20 net passing yards on 16 attempts. It just wasn't good. I know that there were reports out there, and it was true that he hadn't seen action with the Cleveland's ones, which can, I guess, make a difference here. But no matter what, Adam, we're downgrading everyone. I don't even know. Besides Quinshon Judkins, are you starting any pass catchers for this team this weekend?
I don't think you can.
I
There's
don't
just
think
too
so
much
either.
risk of an extremely low floor in this one. So the thing is, the Raiders have really struggled against receivers. So I guess if you're desperate, Jerry Judy, but I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Njoku has not practiced this week yet. We'll see if he goes today. So I guess that would open it up for Fannin a little bit. But
Oof.
yeah, I wouldn't want to start any of these guys.
I don't know. His passing yards total set at last time I looked 159 and a half. And you
Okay.
look at the team total, 16 and a half last time I looked as well. That was yesterday. And the projected to produce like 36.5 points total on the game. So it'll be low scoring, kind of gross. I don't really, besides Harold Fannin Jr., I don't have anyone else on this team except Quinshon Judkins in one spot. And even Harold Fannin, I'm just gonna say, you know what, I'll take my chances. And if he has a really good day with Shedeur Sanders, then okay, I'll just miss out on it. But I'm gonna stream someone else.
Yeah, the only Brown player I have is Jerry Judy, and I don't think I've started him since like week 4. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a deep league. It's 20 roster spots. That's why he's still on the roster. But yeah, I have not started him in a long time.
Yeah, it's that's probably for the best. He's had one big game, right?
Yeah, was it two
Just a
weeks
couple
ago?
weeks
I
ago.
think he
Yeah.
had a good game out of
Yeah.
nowhere.
Yeah, just to put it into context, Harold Fannin Jr. is my tight end 16 this weekend. And like you said, we'll see if David Njoku's good to go. He's my tight end 20. But you have other streamers that I think you could have picked up. Like I would rather start AJ Barner. I am starting, to be honest, Colston Loveland, just going up against that Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Dalton Schultz is another one. If you've held on to Jawan Johnson, he's a top 15 play for me this weekend. So there are other tight ends that you can go and look at, and hopefully you're able to do that. I think one of the biggest questions, Adam, and I know it's one that you and I have gotten over on X a lot this week. What's your final take on the Patriots backfield? What does it look like if Ramondre Stevenson's able to go? Did he log? He was
He's
limited
been
again
limited
yesterday.
twice. Yeah.
So we really need to see him get a full practice in today to have him be on the right side of questionable.
I think both backs can have a good performance this week because they're going up against the Bengals, who've been terrible against the run. They're not going to go away from Stevenson. It was reported a couple weeks ago, and I just don't see them going completely away. But I also think you'll see more work for Henderson than he was getting. There's no way with the explosiveness and the big playability he has that they're just going to go back to giving him like 7 touches. So it'll
Yeah.
probably be a split. Stevenson might get more of the goal line work. I hope not, because again, Henderson
I hope not
showed
either.
he was impressive on that goal line touchdown, breaking tackles, carrying the pile into the end zone. So I'm hoping that showed the coaches enough to give him more of an opportunity. I know everyone's going to have Henderson ranked higher, but this is a week where both can have good games. Even if they both have like 12 touches, they both can go off this week.
Yeah.
The key is going to be what do they do going forward. So look, we're all hoping. I think there can't be many people with Stevenson. They're like, I really need him. So I think, and most people have drafted Henderson in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round.
Yeah.
Have been waiting patiently and then got those big games. Are hoping that continues. So you're playing Henderson and you're just holding your breath that he gets more of the workload. I think you would take 60-40 in favor of Henderson at this point, right?
Yeah. Yes, anything really. But I'm nervous that it's not going to be that. But like you said, this weekend, at least you have an easy answer this weekend because, like you said, you can start both of these guys, even if Stevenson returns. And again, the practice reports are going to be really important today. And we'll get that news here in a little bit. They're viable RB2 options though, because the Bengals are just that. The Bengals are just that bad. The Bengals' run defense has allowed the most rushing yards, scrimmage yards, touchdowns, and fantasy points to running backs. So, 13 running backs have already scored 15 plus fantasy points against them this season. So at least we have an easier answer this weekend. It sounds bad, Adam, but because I'm a Travion Henderson manager, I almost want to see what they do if Ramondre Stevenson returns this week to see what it would look like. I know this game will be a little bit skewed because of how bad that run defense is, but I almost just want to see it because I know that I'm going to be playing them no matter what. I just feel like they don't care about our fantasy teams. And they really like Ramondre Stevenson. So unless there's a really big difference with him coming back from that injury where he's just a little bit more limited than they expected, yeah, I think they're going to go back to him. But I hope I'm wrong, to be honest with you.
Yeah, maybe it's a split. Again, with Henderson is done, with Stevenson absent, like, come on. He had 4 rushing touchdowns in the last 2 games.
I know. I think he's done enough, but
and Ramondre, that's the crazy part is Ramondre really hasn't done anything to say, well, he's been the better back. We got to go back to him. He's averaging 3.4 yards per carry. He has 3 touchdowns in 8 games. Henderson just gave you 4 rushing in 2 games.
No, I know. It's one of those. It's just like we
The
talk at a
longest
different level.
the longest run for Stevenson this year is 22 yards. Like, come on, get the guy who's more explosive on the field more. You don't need to abandon Stevenson, but make Henderson the feature back, mix in Stevenson.
Patriots could really go on a run here too. They're 5-0 on the road this season, by the way.
They're in a good spot where they're probably getting the 1 seed with their schedule too.
Which is crazy. Come on, with the Patriots.
Look, I thought they were going to be good. I didn't think they'd be this. Like, again, we both love Drake May, so we knew they had the quarterback. And this is another example. We see it every year of a team taking advantage of a good schedule, an easy schedule because they had a poor season and made some improvements, and they've done what they're supposed to do. But with the Bengals, Giants, Bills, Ravens, Jets, and Dolphins ahead, I mean, at worst, it'll probably lose 2 games there.
Yeah, that's a nice schedule.
So then it comes down to what Denver does for the 1 seed. Because I don't think the Colts are getting it.
Oh, you're giving up on the Colts?
I'm not giving up, but
back into a pumpkin.
They faced the Texans twice the rest of the way.
It's not an easy
I
schedule.
hope Wade is okay. Good. That second Texans matchup's week 18 because I didn't want Jonathan Taylor facing them.
I need Alec Pierce to give me some fantasy points here. Broncos rest of season schedule too, so they come back against the Commanders, the Raiders, the Packers, the Jaguars. Yeah, Packers, Jaguars. Week 18 is against the Chiefs at Arrowhead, and then they finish off week 18 with the Chargers.
The Chiefs could need that game just to get in the playoffs. And then listen to the Colts schedule: at Kansas City, home to the Texans, at Jacksonville, at Seattle, home to the Niners, home to Jacksonville, at Houston. They're not getting the 1 seed.
No, all right. You're right there. I thought you were just giving up on Daniel Jones. I wanted to know, but that is a wickedly tough schedule going the rest of the way. And we'll see what they look like coming off this bye. That'll be wildly important as well. We're going to continue on. I've got more questions and some coming off X. I also want to go through more rankings. If we're thinking that they're risers, if we're thinking that they're fallers going into this weekend, can Tennerell and McMillan do it again? David Montgomery in a good spot. We're going to break all of that down here coming up next. If you call yourself a sports fan, you've got to have Xfinity. All the games, all in one place. Here's what you get when you watch sports with Xfinity. You get the Sports Zone, every pro football game, and over 1,000 college games. Highlights and alerts, all in one place. You get the multi-view, so you can be in up to 4 stadiums at once. You also get the Xfinity fan view, so all those live scores, odds, and stats, all in one place and personalized to you and the teams you know and love that you need updates on. Enhanced 4K and the voice remote. Just say football. Imagine all your football all in one place. Easy. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. This is Fantasy Life. Vibes are immaculate on this Friday morning. Appreciate everyone hanging out with us here. Make sure you go to fantasylife.com as well. That's where you can find all of our articles and expert analysis 100% free. You can also check out those rankings, the projections, everything you need to continue dominating those fantasy football leagues, continue making the best start sit decisions for all of your lineups here. All right, Adam, I've got one question here for you. Joe Burrow, if he plays, this is from William. Shout out to William for listening to us. But Joe Burrow, if he plays, or Jaxson Dart this weekend. Are you on the side that Joe Burrow could actually get this start, or you think it's the competitive advantage that they're taking from the Jets, and he's not going to start, and then we'll see him Thanksgiving for that game?
That's what I thought initially, but 2 full practices to start the week.
I think he really wants to get back out there.
Yeah, and also working with the starters. So... Yeah. I'm starting to think he might play.
Where do you slot him in? If we get a Joe Burrow final practice in full on Friday, do you slot him in ahead of Matthew Stafford, who I have as my QB6? Do you go the cautious route and say, okay, maybe more near Dak Prescott at QB9 ahead of Jaxson Dart at QB10? Where do you think about him?
Yeah, it's a tough call. First game back going against New England. He's not going to have Jamar Chase. Probably a lot of instances, I don't think I would play him over Stafford. I think I'd play him over Dak with going up against Philly. Dart is the tough one because he's been really good every time he's played, but you have to think that they are going to have less design runs for him. What is that going to do for his fantasy value?
But and that's the other part with Jaxson Dart that's really a big question is okay, he has less designed runs, but in his like that's just how he plays too, is that if he doesn't see anything, he's gonna take off. So I know
Right,
they'll have
but
less.
I think Dable was giving him a lot of design runs,
Oh, he for sure was.
which they didn't like because obviously he was taking a lot of big hits. So, um, and he has 7 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, and he led all quarterbacks in designed runs. I have this here and he led all quarterbacks in designed runs, and I'm seeing here it took 75 plus hits. And again, that was a stat where you're looking at this for Jaxson Dart, and that's he didn't start until week 4, and he was still leading all quarterbacks in those designed runs. So you know that's going to come back down. He returned to a limited practice. I think we're on the correct side of questionable for him. Yeah, it's a probably you it's and then this is not necessarily great, Adam, but it's probably a go with your gut thing, right? Because I'm probably gonna have, like you said, if Burrow plays, I'll have him behind Stafford. That puts him, and I'll probably have him ahead of Jared Goff. That would put him at QB7.
And
And in most,
Goff's in a good spot this week too, at home against the Giants. This is a bounce back spot where they're going to put up a ton of points this week.
in most instances, you might be playing Joe Burrow, unless
Yeah,
you have, like you said, Stafford. I've got Mahomes at 5, Jalen Hurts at 4. Ooh, had Josh Allen at 3. That didn't work out too well. Hand out. But then I have Lamar Jackson, Drake May as my QB1. Oh, it'll be interesting. I don't have to make that decision. I'm kind of jealous of those that do. You do.
I
You picked
do.
him up.
I know I have a
Who's your other
league with
quarterback?
I know I got one with Burrow and Dak.
Okay, so you would start Burrow in that
I
in that
think I
sense.
would.
Yeah.
I could see Dak having a good game against Philly because I thought he played really well against them in week 1, even though he didn't have a passing touchdown.
Yeah.
But also, Philadelphia's defense, I think, has gotten better with
I
the
agree.
additions that they have made. And we saw the defense the last 2 weeks for Philly has been good. So I'm starting Pickens. I'm starting Lamb. I'm not messing around there. But, it could be a down game for Dak.
Yeah, I dropped him a little bit, QB9. But that is technically dropping him because he's usually closer to the 5, 6, 7 range. And Jaxson Dart, again, my QB10. You can find my rankings at fantasylife.com. But appreciate that question. Oh, we've got one more here. Just since we're on quarterbacks, start Stafford or Prescott. This is from Matt. Appreciate you sending that in, Matt. Stafford
Stafford.
or Prescott? Yeah, it's Stafford. Stafford's my QB6, and I think I might him up one. So we'll see. All right, we're going to continue on here. We've got more questions coming in. Want to go through defensive streamers as well, so we're going to get through that here coming up next. Appreciate everyone hanging out with us on this Friday. I was about to just not talk for a second there, Adam, because I was listening to the song. I was like, this is good. This is good music. Anyways, Kendall Valenzuela, Adam Ronis with you right here. What? It's a
It
good
is
song.
Friday. So you are
I know.
probably going to
Yeah.
check out early.
What are you talking about? When have I ever? No, we
You
stay
always
till
tell
the
people
very
to
end.
leave and go
Well,
home.
that's at the end of the show though. And
Okay.
unfortunately, maybe some NFL players heard that too. They said, "Oh, Keon
Yeah.
Coleman, I don't need to go to my meetings today." By the way, I know we're going to talk about this in the water cooler. CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, you see that report of
Yes.
why they were benched?
Yeah.
We can't be doing that.
Why not?
Come
Who
on. What
cares?
do you
If you can go out there and perform like that, you get
You're
special
like go
treatment.
go to the casinos every weekend? That's what you're saying now?
Yeah, like
Okay.
say I did that, right? But I show up here every day ready to go. You can't
Mm.
get mad at me, right?
No, I think NFL teams that
Like
have a
you going to
curfew
a
can.
concert on a
Well,
weeknight.
yeah, the one time. Come on, you
Like,
tell me
come
to get
on,
out
what
of
are you
my house
doing?
every day, and so now I go, and now you're like,
You
oh, there
couldn't
you
wait till
go.
Friday or Saturday?
No, they
We'll
no.
see. Your performance so far has been okay, but we
What are
still
you
have an
talking
hour to
about?
go.
I've rocked it today. I'm got high energy. See, I don't go outside. You complain. I go outside for the first time in a couple days. You complain. What do we?
No,
What do we
I'm
got
not
going on?
complaining. I'm just saying you could have saved it for a Friday or Saturday night.
No,
That's
those
all.
were Those were expensive tickets.
Were they?
Oh
Well, you're a
man.
baller. You're making big money.
Yeah, right. No, it's just like the fine for Jamar Chase. Didn't want to miss my $450,000.
Yeah,
Is it 450 or 550? No, I think it
something
was
like that, which
450.
is insane.
Something insane. It's crazy. I think
There's
we're
some
really
people it's
glossing.
going to take them like 10 years to make that.
Oh, yeah. it's just, I mean, I feel like we're not glossing over it, but not having Jamar Chase in that game. If you have T Higgins, you hope that he's able to come through for you with a big game. Do you have any? Because I've seen this question again at K Valenzuela 17 at Adam Ronis over there on X. We talked quarterback streamers yesterday. Again, you can find all of our rankings at fantasylife.com. Defensive streamers though, are you looking at any specific matchups where you say, okay, because I like to try and go through guys that are, or teams, I should say, defenses that are a little less than 40% rostered. But are you looking at anyone? I was
Well,
looking
I
at the
don't.
Bear. I was looking at the Bears a little bit. They're only 21.5% rostered.
Where are I guess where I don't know the roster percentages of defense. I don't pay that close attention. But I picked up Baltimore the last couple weeks.
Well, that's nice.
Browns, I guess against Vegas.
Yeah. 49ers against, well, no, the 49ers haven't been playing that well.
Yeah,
I'm
I
just looking
think.
at the Panthers. I don't know what kind of Panthers team we get in this one, but it's still it's a good matchup for Bryce Young, really, to not put up, 400 plus again, but to at least have a good day.
Yeah, can you still roll with Atlanta?
Can you still
The
roll with
Saints have been
Atlanta?
better. Yeah, I don't know.
Tyler Shuck, I mean, we mentioned him as a potential streamer. The game that we saw him in before he went on bye was not bad. Alvin Kamara had a decent day. You had Chris Olave, and you said to yourself, well, okay, if this is what I get with Tyler Shuck, like it's never going to be pretty, and there's always going to be highs and lows with it. But you were very happy with the performance that you got, not only from him, but from the pieces around him. Well, you're only really starting to, well, maybe three.
Well,
I think Juwan Johnson is still good to stream.
how about the other side, streaming the
Ooh.
Saints defense against Kirk Cousins?
That could be it. Is that the play this weekend?
Uh, it's
That might be it.
certainly possible. I know they have a nice upcoming schedule, but yeah, you do feel good about the Saints. What you saw from Shuck before the bye. I mean, Chris Olave is definitely like a must start anyway.
Yeah, he definitely is. Tyler Shuck, the last time we saw him again, he was able to get you 18.98 fantasy points. I don't think we expect that every single week. That was at Carolina, 19 of 27, 282 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, though, which was also, I mean, if you play clean like that, he could be a streamer for you. The next three: Atlanta, at Miami, at Tampa Bay, before playing Carolina again to start week 15, which is what you want to hear for Chris Olave managers to start the fantasy football playoff run. Their playoffs look like Carolina week 15, Jets week 16, Tennessee Titans week 17.
Yeah, that sounds like a
That's
streaming
nice.
defense for me
That's
in
nice.
the fantasy postseason.
I tried to get Ravens everywhere I could, just because I still think that they're really going to be on that on the run and the up, because we've said that a couple weeks ago. Hey, this Ravens defense, like we can't be looking at them the same way we did it earlier in the year, where we said, okay, who's playing the Ravens defense in weeks 15, 16, and 17? Because I think they're just going to continue to get better.
Yeah, I think now's a good time to look at the defensive streaming for the playoffs. And
Yeah.
if you're in a deep enough, some people like to have two and play the matchups if you get to the playoffs. I think it depends on how much roster flexibility you have. But I did pick up the Bucks for
Oh,
the.
that's a good one.
They have the Falcons, Panthers, Dolphins.
Yeah, that's a good one. I was looking at the Chiefs this weekend, just because I'm just for this weekend, because I know we talked about their schedule. They're 28.3% rostered, but they've racked up like multiple sacks in all but two games this season. And Daniel Jones, I threw you those stats just a few segments ago, but he has taken. I mean, he's got 4 interceptions, fumbled 6 times in the last 3 games, 15 sacks in those 3 games too. By the way, I mean it's really been a downhill trend. I'm hoping that they just got right during the bye week and that we don't see that. But this is a tough defense, so I wouldn't be surprised if they were able to get to him a little bit in this one this weekend. It'd be
Yeah,
a
I
great
think
game.
we're all eyes are on him to see if he can keep up what he's doing, or this is a big spot. How does he
Yeah.
respond?
It definitely is. It definitely is. Again, at K Valenzuela 17, at Adam Ronis over there for any questions that you have. I've seen some coming in. Do you think we're going to see when we go? I just want to go to the Vikings because I saw a few questions on JJ McCarthy, Jordan Addison. Jordan Addison has been one of my biggest fallers over the last couple of weeks. It hasn't been, I mean, he's averaged 8.3 points, 58 utilization score in 3 games with JJ McCarthy. They have the fourth lowest team total this weekend, though, 17 and a half points. I don't like this one. I know if you have McCarthy or Justin Jefferson, you're playing him, but
Yeah, you haven't been happy about it. Addison as well has really come down to earth here. I have to start Addison in the league I
Oh
have him
no.
because it's a deep league. Yeah.
I mean, no,
But
it's
yeah,
fine.
he's
Yeah.
definitely a risky play. It's all about finding the end zone for him. He has a knack for scoring touchdowns
He
throughout his
does.
career, but he has really struggled with McCarthy under center.
I think everyone has struggled.
34.3 receiving yards per game with McCarthy at quarterback.
And before it was, I mean, he was, oh no, he had the suspension to start the year. I forgot about that. So he missed those first 3 games.
Hmm.
And then, yeah, before the bye, he was giving you 15 as the floor. And so now you've got, you had the big game against Philly, 21 fantasy points. Then it's gone 11.6, 8.4, 6.5, 10.1 against Chicago last weekend. Maybe we see JJ McCarthy turn it around. Maybe that's what we need here, Adam. A good vibe shift from McCarthy. Who says no?
That would be
Probably
nice for our
Probably
Vikings
McCarthy, but
fantasy players.
Justin Jefferson more specifically. Are you buying J Jeff right now? If you have a trade deadline going right now, are you saying I'm going to buy it and hope that he performs better down the stretch?
Yes, I would.
Okay. I'm nervous about it, but I would agree. It's still Justin Jefferson at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, we're going to the water cooler. Just kidding. We're going right now. We're going to go through all the news and notes that you need to know. We're going to go through all of your questions as well. So make sure you send those in. We're opening up the phone lines too. We're going to go to the water cooler here coming up next. It is about that time. Time for the Fantasy Life Water Cooler. Phone number to call in 888-963-2682 or press that new call-in button on the Sirius XM app. You can also find us over there on X at Valenzuela 17 at Adam Ronis. If you have questions and just don't have time to call in, send those our way. We're going to try and get to as many as we can throughout the water cooler. But here's where we go through the news and notes you need to know, get you up to date on everything going into week 12. Still a lot of question marks, Adam. And today, as we always say, but it feels like a lot today is going to be pivotal with some of these practice reports and what we get. Because I looked through to even put these into the rundown today. We got a lot of limited practices yesterday. So unfortunately, we don't have many answers yet. And I'm sure once we get off the show, once these practices start rolling in this afternoon, we're going to get them. So make sure you keep an eye. Make sure to do that. You can go to fantasylife.com though. We've got an amazing newsletter that's in your inbox 7 days a week that really highlights everything you need to know, especially with the injuries. So you can go there. All of our analysis and our articles are 100% free as well. So make sure to go check those out. And then the rankings, everything that you need, rankings, projections, everything. Start sit tool. If you can't call in, make sure to go and use that as well. You can use that code SXM20. It gets you 20% off at checkout if you've been looking at Fantasy Life Tier 1 or Tier 2. And as always, we're on YouTube. So you guys can go check out our YouTube channel, like and subscribe there. Adam, like I said, I wish I had more news, to be totally honest with you, but we're really still right in the middle. Josh Jacobs returned to limited work in Thursday's practice, and that's what I'm going to say about a lot of these guys. I mean, Bayshal Tootin was limited yesterday. You've got Bam Knight limited as well. Trey Benson was limited. I can continue on. Ramondre Stevenson limited. It's just one of those things where it's not great for us to say, but we just have to wait and see because we can't give great advice right now until we know really if these guys are going to be on the right side or wrong side of questionable.
Yeah, there's a lot going on this week where you just cannot make decisions right now because we just have so many situations that are up in the air. Joe Burrow, Bucky Irving, where there are so many different reports of what's going on. I see the Pewter report said that Bucky Irving won't play, but could be back soon. There's a lot of other rumors going around about him. So I don't know
Yeah,
what's going on
it's
there. It sounds like he's not going to play this week, and maybe he returns next week. But again, there's just a lot going on. So that's a big one because then it will put Sean Tucker in a better spot after they came out and said yesterday we need to get him more touches. It is a tough matchup against the Rams, but you would play him. Just don't expect what he did last week to
yeah.
repeat. I hope so, but I don't think it'll happen.
Yeah, I don't think it'll happen either. But like I said, I mean, there's really the big three running backs this weekend that people are waiting on is one is Josh Jacobs for Emmanuel Wilson, because if he's not in, you're playing Emmanuel Wilson. I know, Adam, you had to play him last week, but if you can avoid it at all costs, especially if Josh Jacobs is back, because we just know how this offense runs, and it is really featuring one running back. So if Josh Jacobs is back, you're not really going to love playing Emmanuel Wilson. We're waiting on the same things for Kenneth Gainwell, right, for the Steelers, and Jalen Warren. That's the other one. What's the third one? I don't know why I'm blanking. I do know why I'm blanking. I went to a Sabrina Carpenter concert last night, and I can't think right now. Who's the third one that we're waiting on?
Would it
Game.
be
Oh,
well,
it's
Green Bay, Tampa,
Bucky.
Pittsburgh?
You just mentioned
Yeah.
Bucky. So it's Bucky Irving because if he is able to come back this weekend, which like you said, doesn't seem like it's likely, but if he does, you have to downgrade Rashad White. Like you just don't want to play those two guys, Rashad White, Sean Tucker. If he's out, then yeah, Sean Tucker becomes someone that you can go ahead and flex, put into your RB2 spot. But those are big. Those are the big three because really, Adam, if all of those guys are able to come back, you're not playing any of those RB2s. You just can't.
Yeah,
You can
Jake.
avoid it.
At first, I thought Jacobs would miss at least 1 week, but that guy just
He's
plays through
tough.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said it's a range of motion issue, so they could be cautious here and just sit him out a week. That's what I hope they do, selfishly.
Tell him why.
As
Yeah.
someone who has Emmanuel Wilson in a few weeks.
Exactly. Tell
That's
him
why.
why.
I don't have any Josh Jacobs, but I'm also worried about this guy's health, man. He's crazy. He's just going out there with all these injuries. He played through the calf issue. Take a week off. Relax, man. Get that body healthy. Take care of it.
Just like you're worried about Kyler Murray's health on IR.
I am.
I know you are. Totally.
He's probably playing a lot of video games right now.
Would you stop?
Oh, you don't think he is? Come on.
Well, I don't know. Don't bring me.
Please, you want Jacoby Brissett at quarterback? You have a Trey McBride. You want him in there?
I totally do. I mean, who would have thought that Jacoby Brissett would have been the hero of 2025? But here we are, and that's what happens. Kyler Murray, though, I think this is this the? I need to look. Is this the final week for him technically to be on IR where he could return if he was good to go? Or does
you're really worrying about him returning?
Are you not? I am a little bit.
I don't know.
So
he last played October 5th. But they didn't put him on IR right away, right? Wasn't it a couple weeks?
I thought it was a week. So he might have 2 more weeks then.
I think they cleaned out his locker already.
Would you stop? Okay. Anyways, I'm moving on. Adam cares about everyone's injuries, and that's all I'll say on that.
So he got placed on IR November 5th.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, yeah. So
1, 2. So this will be the 3rd week. He'll have to miss.
He's eligible to run week 14 against the Rams.
Oh, great. They're going to keep Jacoby Brissett in there for that game, right?
Probably.
Yeah. All right. I mentioned this earlier, but CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens missed curfew while at a casino on Sunday night. Adam doesn't care. Adam says if they can do that and go out and play the game that they played over the weekend, then they're going to be or I should say for the primetime game, they're going to be just fine.
So you think that the drop by CeeDee Lamb late in the game was because he was out late?
No, I don't.
Okay. I mean, George Pickens went off. Hey, George Pickens, stay out late again, man. Stay out all night. If you're going to give me 9 for 144 and a touchdown, keep doing what you do.
Keep going to the casino. That's crazy. He did.
Well, we figured, I'm surprised we haven't heard more. Like, I'm sure it's happened with Vegas having a team out. You didn't think this was going to happen? Like, come on.
I'm sure this happens all the time, but it doesn't usually happen to, your wide receiver 1 and 2 going out there the next day. I'll just say that.
So I wonder if it was the first drive. Like if that was like a 9-play drive, would they just have been out for the entire drive? It was a 3 and out. So I bet you Dak was like, all right, we're just gonna go 3 and out here, get you guys back on the field.
That's I have nothing else to say besides that this is the water cooler and that's why we bring this stuff up here. But like you said, had a great game. George Pickens did, especially though, 29 fantasy points. They're playing Philly this week, so you lower expectations a little bit. George Pickens, they have to franchise tag him. That just has to be what they do going forward. I know that it's projected to be, it's a lot. I think I've said 26, 28 million for the franchise tag this season for wide receivers. But he's just been really good.
I said it at the time. I can't believe how undervalued Pickens was in drafts. I just am stunned that he went as late as he did. It just didn't make any sense. Like,
even
come on.
The floor has been nice. I mean, you're getting 14 fantasy points from him.
This is the best situation, best quarterback he played with in an offense that's going to pass. I mean, come on. Like, he's 6th in points per game in PPR formats. He's had a better season than CeeDee Lamb.
Oh, that's crazy.
He's ahead of Lamb.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Lamb missed some games, but again, Lamb's been fine. It's just we haven't seen a lot of ceiling games from Lamb.
His highest has been 22. 22.
Yeah. So, which again is fine. He has 3 100-yard games out of 6. Yeah, he's only played 6 games.
Yeah, because he missed the 3.
I know he
weeks
did.
4, 5, and 6, and then the bye week.
It feels like he's played more, but Yeah, he doesn't have he only has 2 touchdowns. He doesn't have a multi-touchdown game. So, I mean, look, there's time for him to finish strong, but yeah, Pickens
Definitely.
has been great this year. Pickens has had more of those big games. Pickens has games of 134, 168, 144. He has a game with 2 touchdowns. So, yeah, he's the worst game Pickens had was week 1 against Philly. He scored
Yep.
6. So, gets that matchup again. I think he'll do better than 6. I don't expect a high ceiling game, but yeah, he saw a lot of Quinshawn Mitchell in that one.
Mhm.
So probably going to happen again.
Yeah, gonna be a great game nonetheless, though. And like I said, you can go check out our rankings at fantasylife.com. But yeah, Mitchell is likely to shadow Pickens this week, like he did when they faced up, like you just said, in that season opener. But yeah, you're playing him every single time. But just don't go to, well, maybe, or go to casinos and then play like you did, like we saw last
Well,
time.
they're
And
home, so
Adam won't care.
yeah, I don't. Does
I know you
anyone?
don't.
I
I
don't.
know, not really. We
Just
don't usually get the reports about it, so I wanted to
I
bring it up.
know.
Er, uh, yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't happen again because then it could be the entire first quarter.
Yeah, please don't do that again. They wouldn't do that. You think Schottenheimer would do that?
Uh,
No,
Hopefully not. Not against
definitely
Philly.
not. Let me ask you one more before we go to the phone lines. I see everyone on hold there, so we're going to try and get to you guys, as many of you as we can here. Just really quickly on Aaron Rodgers, if he doesn't play this weekend to you, and we do, get a Mason Rudolph game, do you downgrade? It's really DK Metcalf, but I know that some people have been streaming those tight ends as well. Are you downgrading everyone with Mason Rudolph going in there?
Not really, but you're not really playing these guys. I mean, Metcalf has been a disappointment to begin with anyway, right? This
I
whole
know, but I think
offense.
people have to play him, to be honest, based on where they drafted him. I would assume that unless you do, like you said, unless you have better options, like someone, Alec Pierce, that you got later, I just think because of his ADP that you might not have better choices
Yeah, I
to
would.
a certain
I'm
extent.
not going to change anything.
Okay. Lateral move there. So we'll see if Mason Rudolph is good to go there this weekend. Aaron Rodgers had a limited practice yesterday, just like everyone else, Adam. So it's really today that we're waiting on to see what these guys are going to be able to do for week 12. All right, now out to the phone lines 888-963-2682, or you can press that new call in button on the Sirius XM app. Find us at Valenzuela17 at Adam Ronis over there on X. Let's start off with Rob in Virginia. Rob, what do you got for us?
How you doing? I got offered Rashee Rice and Alvin Kamara for my Drake London and Josh Jacobs. My other running backs are Dowdle, Hampton, Benson, and Woody Marks. And just seeing what you thought based on the Drake London situation, quarterback injury, etc. I also have Jamar Chase and Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Okay, Chase and ARSB. What do you think here, Adam? So I don't. It's obviously it's a downgrade at running back. That's what you
Right.
look at here. Josh Jacobs is way better than Alvin Kamara. Even though we did see a good game from Alvin Kamara the week before their bye, that's where you're getting a downgrade. He has Chase ARSB. Obviously, Jamar Chase not in this weekend.
Who are the other running backs?
Rob, do we still have you?
Rico Dowdle, Omarion Hampton, Trey Benson, Woody Marks.
Ugh.
That's who. Then
I don't
again,
know.
Jacob, you got 2 injured players that you're trading away. Part of me wants to do it, but that running back situation, I still don't feel good about Kamara. I know he had a massive workload. They've been mixing in Taysom Hill. They've been mixing in Neal. Uh,
Because he has good wide receivers. That's the one thing that he can lean on
yeah, I mean,
with Chase
I love
ARSB.
trading away London now because
Yeah,
this, I don't think this is a 1 week injury. They keep
I don't either.
saying, we'll see next week, but if it's a PCL, I mean, that could take you out. And especially with Atlanta having nothing to play for. The key is Jacobs, though. Like,
Yeah,
this is a tough one.
I'm
Uh,
saying no.
yeah, I think you want to keep Jacobs. Because
That's the
again, it
only
doesn't
part that
sound
I'm
like it's
looking at.
serious for Jacobs.
And Kamara, like when you're getting him back, I know again, 14.5 fantasy points. That was against Carolina. We're gonna see highs and lows, but you don't want the lows. I mean, you're getting 5.9, 6.5, 0.7 is an actual fantasy game that he gave us in week 9 against the Rams. Like I just don't know if you want any part of that with how Josh Jacobs has been trending this week. So I'm going to say no.
I could also see them shutting down Kamara early,
Yeah,
like they
that's
did
the other
last year.
part. Yeah, so he gets Rice, Kamara, and then maybe by week 15 they say, we're gonna look somewhere else. Or Devin Neal really is where they would look. Appreciate you calling in, Rob. That's a really good one.
Because
Yeah, it's a really good
usually,
one.
if you see an injured player London, you're like, yeah, trade him away. But
Yeah,
that's why context is important, because that running back room would take a hit.
a big hit. Amarian, we don't even know if he's coming
Yeah, we don't
back.
even know if he's going to be good week 13. They have
We don't.
offensive line issues, major
When
offensive line problems.
and we don't know if Trey Benson in the best world would come back and be really good, but we don't
Maybe
even know
next
if he,
week.
yeah, we don't even know that. Woody Marks is still only he's an RB1, but he's only giving you 11 fantasy points. So yeah, I would say no on this one, but it really, keep me updated, Rob. I want to know what happens there. Let's go to Mo in Miami. Mo, what do you got for us?
Trade question: trading away Jonathan Taylor, Justin Jefferson, and Vidal, and receive Jamar Chase, Javonte, and RJ Harvey. I'm in first place right now, so I could take a loss this week. Yeah.
Ooh, okay. You're in first place. You're looking at trading away JT, Justin Jefferson, Kamani Vidal. You receive Jamar Chase, Javonte Williams, RJ Harvey. Is there a world, Adam, where we're saying yes to trading away Jonathan Taylor ever?
Very difficult, but
Oh, has Mo found it?
I mean, look,
Is this the trade that you do?
Vidal is kind of toast, right?
Yeah.
Because Hampton could be back. Even so, you're worried. Jefferson, there's
Ooh.
concerns, and you're getting Chase with Burrow coming back. Javonte is the main back in Dallas, getting volume every week, and Harvey's on the way up. But still, trading Taylor,
Ugh.
yeah, I'm not gonna do it.
I was gonna say, there's no way this is the one that does it. And here's the thing, and this is where it does get difficult because you're in first place right now. Mo's in first place. Jefferson, he's got Vidal, which is not great. And I know Jefferson is on kind of the downward trend, but you've got highs from Jonathan Taylor like 2 weeks ago, 49 points, 34, 37, 31, 23. I don't know if you can get rid of that on your team. They play Seattle, San Francisco, Jacksonville in the fantasy playoffs. That's their schedule.
I think Taylor's a guy. I don't think it matters
No,
because
that's
he
what I'm
could.
saying.
Well, even if say he's being contained in one of those games, he could easily break off a 50-yard play for a touchdown, and they're going to feed him. They're especially if Daniel Jones is showing these cracks that we've seen the last two games. They're just going to feed Jonathan Taylor the ball, and they did it last year down the stretch
Yeah.
too. They're not afraid to give him 30 touches in a game.
Yeah. And like you said, RJ Harvey is on his way up just because of the J.K. Dobbins injury. But it was almost the same conversation that we just had with Woody Marks. Like he was the RB1 in that offense, but we want to see that turn into fantasy points. I think we do that eventually, right? They've got a bye this week, so you're not going to see it this week. You wouldn't be able to have him. But he gave you 8 fantasy points against Kansas City. He had the bulk of the workload, right? 11 carries, 30 yards, no touchdowns in that one, 3 receptions, also for 20 yards. But it's tough for me to trade away JT. So I'm gonna agree with you on that one. Say no. All right, let's do another one here. Let's go out to Carl in Georgia. Carl, what do you got for us?
Starting either Mahomes or Golf, and should I start Stevenson with New England this week?
Okay, so let's start with the quarterback one with it's Patrick Mahomes. He's my QB5, or Jared Goff. He's my 7. So I would say Patrick Mahomes in this one. But Jared Goff has a chance to really have a bounce back game against the Giants this weekend.
He does. I would go Mahomes too. The only issue with Goff is, look, they are putting up points. It's a question of how the touchdowns are coming. Goff could have a 4-touchdown game. He could have a 2-touchdown game and then 2 rushing for Gibbs, 1 for Montgomery. This offense is putting up 40 this week. There's no question in my mind with Detroit. Just a matter of how those touchdowns come. So I'll go with Mahomes there. He's a big game too. He can run a little bit. So I would go with him there. Stevenson, it depends who else you're starting and if Stevenson even plays this week. I'm leaning that he is, right?
I'm
2
leaning
limited
that he
practice.
is. And I think if you have him, I think that you play him because we talked about you
The
know, what
matchup,
this
yeah.
split's going to look like. The matchup is so good. I mean, this Bengals run defense, they've allowed the most rushing yards, scrimmage yards, touchdowns, and fantasy points to running backs. So it feels like a day where both can, both can have a day. But like you said, look at your other running backs because he wasn't necessarily expensive. Ramondre Stevenson was not expensive in drafts this season. So maybe you have better options. And then fantasylife.com is where you can see all of those rankings. But appreciate you calling in, Carl. I wish I had that problem. If I could say Jared Goff. I will say, though, Jared Goff hasn't been one where we've gotten a ton of questions week in and week out. But this is the week where he's obviously going to be asked about a lot more because, again, my QB7 going up against the Giants. This is where he can really have this bounce back game and get hopefully a big fantasy point outing. But still going with Mahomes there. I appreciate everyone calling in. You guys, even we've got the best listeners, but you guys already know that. You can find us at Valenzuela17 at Adam Ronis over there on X. We're going to go hard or go home, Adam. See which players are going to go hard for your fantasy teams, which players are not this weekend. Coming up here next. All right, here we go. It's time for Go Hard or Go Home here, presented by Mike's Hard Lemonade, the official drink of those who hopefully go hard for our fantasy teams, Adam. Please, I hope that you can say that they all will perform well this weekend, but we know we don't get that lucky in fantasy football. I mean, we started Josh Allen, and Josh Allen, by the way, is going to get me chopped in a guillotine league. I know that for sure. I've already written that name. Well, it's you. You have to guess next week, but
Yeah, I know I didn't check all my leagues, but I know I'm facing Josh Allen in 2. So it's nice to face him this week instead of the week last week where he put up 6 total touchdowns.
I mean, it's just disappointing. And there's nothing you can do. I mean, really, I know we got a few questions that we weren't able to answer yesterday asking about Josh Allen. But he was my QB3 and he was going to be my QB3 throughout this week. I mean, even though it was a tough defense, but yeah, I'm in one guillotine league for sure that I started Josh Allen, and I just know it's over. There's no chance that I can come back
Look,
from that.
I know people today are going to be like, "Oh, I should have benched Josh Allen for this guy." Josh Allen has a high floor every single week. I know the Texans defense has been really good against quarterbacks this year, but unfortunately these games happen. But you would have felt worse if he went out there and scored 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. I've got a message here from Keith saying, thanks for the guillotine league discussion. Still alive, though I played Josh Allen last night. Same. It'll be fine.
You
He's
can
gonna
still
be at the top
look.
of the list.
It's
you can
one.
still win.
Yeah, you can still survive it, right? There could be someone's
It'll
quarterback.
be hard, but yes.
Yeah, but could be someone's quarterback that gets out there early in the first quarter, gets hurt, gets 0-1 point, and then
There
a
we
couple
go.
other duds. So
You never want injuries. but
yeah,
yes,
look,
that can
it
happen.
sucks when you are staring at a 10 from your quarterback on Thursday because now you have to digest that all the way until Sunday afternoon before the game start again. So that's the worst part of it. But understand, you could overcome it. Just like if someone went out there and put up 40 points and you're down 40-0, that doesn't mean you're losing. I've seen it many times. So it's still one game. It doesn't look good. The odds are against you. Doesn't mean you're going to get chopped.
Exactly. And that's the fun of guillotine leagues, right, Adam?
Yeah. Or the stress of it.
Or the stress, whatever. I was thinking about that all during that concert. I was just like, wow, I really had Josh Allen in this guillotine league. That, of course, Adam, what did I do? I paid money for him. I should just tell the people when I spend money on any quarterback, and so they know to not start them the next week. Did that with Joe Burrow. Now Josh Allen.
You don't listen. How many times do we have to tell you don't spend money on quarterbacks and guillotine
I needed
leagues?
a quarterback. I couldn't keep. I had bad quarterbacks. I had Justin Herbert and Jaxson Dart. I had to spend money.
You could have gotten someone for less.
I'm sure I could have. And now look at me.
Oh, wow. Breaking news here.
What?
Jaxson Dart will not play.
Ooh.
Okay,
Well,
there you go.
Look at us. Wow. It's like he was listening.
Yeah.
All right.
He heard his name.
I just said it. Wow. Okay. So that's disappointing. I thought he was on the right side of questionable for this game. Jameis Winston last week, I guess that's where we can start, right? Because Jameis Winston's going to get that start. In fantasy football, we always talk about Jameis and say, all right, well, it's YOLO Jameis. It's not going to be pretty. He's always going to give us those interceptions. He's not someone that you turn to stream this weekend because they're at Detroit. He was 19 of 29, 201 yards, 1 interception, 11 fantasy points. Does this downgrade Wan'Dale Robinson for you, though, again? If you were expecting Jaxson Dart, I know that we're not going to have Slayton in this one. What do you look at?
Wait, are we sure Slayton is out?
No, I'm expecting him not to be out.
Okay,
I don't think he was practicing.
He was
yesterday.
limited.
Yeah.
Yesterday. It was his first practice since he got hurt.
We'll have to watch that one. Err on the side of caution. What are you doing with Jameis this weekend?
Yeah. I mean, look, the thing is, they're probably going to be playing from behind. He's going to drop back to pass a lot, but that also could lead. So he had one interception, and it came late in the game.
Mm-hmm.
They dropped several interceptions, the Packers defense. It could have
Yes.
been worse. So, yeah, look, Jameis is fun. We like that, but yeah, you don't really want to play anyone.
I don't think you I don't think you do either. Again, I really thought Jaxson Dart was going to be good to go. Because it's really the question of Jaxson Dart, Wan'Dale Robinson, Theo Johnson as a streamer option. That's really what you're looking at for New York. But yeah, in this game, I don't know Wan'Dale Robinson, let me see where I have him in my rankings because he might be one where you just look around and you might not have those better options. But that's the only guy I can think of there.
Yeah,
Otherwise, like you said, you don't go with anyone else.
yeah, and I guess you could play Slayton if he goes. I mean, he's been so close to big games. Again, they'll be playing from behind. Detroit's going to put up a ton of points on them.
Wan'Dale Robinson is my wide receiver 25. I think I might keep him there at
Okay, so yeah.
25. Just because I was trying to be cautious, but more optimistic with Jaxson Dart. I guess the other two really that we're looking at is when we talk about Tyrone Tracy. Those are obviously the running backs that you can look at here. Tyrone Tracy holds a slight edge and slight lead over Singletary for RB1 since Cam Scatterboo went down. But man, we talked about Devin Singletary coming up this week, and it's one where it's really still looking like a split. Tyrone Tracy has not taken over this backfield like some might have thought. I thought that maybe he would because we saw that last season, but it hasn't really been that. So that's still a split that you're not necessarily loving as well at all.
Well,
High-end
no.
RB3?
So here, it's mostly Tracy. The problem is everything near the goal line is Singletary. It's like,
Yeah.
I think last week was like every touch he had. So that is just hurting Tracy. He's been the better back, but if you're not getting any of those goal line carries in an offense that is not going to put up a lot of points, it really hurts Tracy. His ceiling is not there at all. Like you're hoping for 10 to 12 points out of him.
Yeah. Tracy, so he had 52% of the snaps. Singletary had 48 last week. But like you said, when you're not getting those goal line carries, that's where the opportunities lie to give us a lot more fantasy points. I think, so are you sitting both of them in this game if you can manage?
Ideally, yeah. I have to start Tracy in one league, but clearly they're RB3s. It's not a good offense.
It's a tough defense too. The
Yeah.
Lions.
Yeah, the Lions are good defense. With Dart out too. I mean, I guess Dart out opens up some running back carries for both, but it also limits the offense moving the football and being in scoring position. So yeah, they're RB3s. And again, Singletary's very dependent on a touchdown. At least Tracy
Yeah.
is getting the volume. You would like to see him more involved in the passing game. I kind of don't get that because he was a receiver before. So
I don't get it either.
I would have liked to see more involvement in the passing game for him.
I thought Tracy would do a bit better. And like I said, it was good last week, right? You got 17.9 fantasy points. You got 19 carries, 88 yards, no touchdowns though. And the weeks prior to that, because it's been about 3 weeks with Cam Scatterboon and his injury, 8.1, 6.7, 7.3. So you know what he can get you with those highs of 17.9. But again, a tough defense when you're going up against the Lions. They're among the 6 toughest defenses when it comes to yards and touchdowns allowed on the ground to running backs. So just be a little bit cautious there. But again, like you said, look at you. Breaking news, Adam. Jaxson Dart going to be out this week.
Still in concussion protocol.
That was, it was a bad, just like CJ Stroud when we saw his head hit
Stroud's
the ground.
missed 3 games now.
That was a bad, it was a bad hit.
It wasn't, well, the Stroud was,
well, the
he
hit
hit
wasn't
his head.
bad, but
yeah,
how he flipped his head backwards.
Well, like we've said all the time with these concussions, they're tricky. Like a lot of times guys miss 1 week, and then we've seen instances, Stroud 3 games, now Dart 2. So there's no clear-cut timetable for return because everyone is different.
Yeah. So again, Jaxson Dart, if you have him, that answers your quarterback questions, though, when people were asking just now about Jaxson Dart. So we'll update the rankings that you can find at fantasylife.com. But again, Jaxson Dart ruled out for Sunday. Jameis Winston is going to be the Giants QB1 yet again, and they are taking on the Detroit Lions. Let me give you at least one go hard or go home here, because we didn't necessarily say that Jameis Winston was going to go hard for us. But Darnell Mooney for the Falcons. Do you think he goes hard? So Kirk Cousins is in. Drake London is out. Michael Penix Jr. is out. Mooney steps technically into the wide receiver 1 role for week 12 with Kirk Cousins as his starting quarterback. Go hard or go home. We've seen them together before. They've played, 15 games together, average 12.5 fantasy points. What do you think?
All right. Well, someone needs to catch the football for Atlanta. I know Kirk Cousins has not looked good in the 2 games we have seen him. They do have a rapport. Mooney's put up numbers. He's going to get the target share.
Okay.
I'll say go hard.
There we go. We got one. I'm nervous about it, but
Of course.
He's a wide receiver 3 for me.
Yeah. I'm actually starting him in a league where I got Drake London. I'm trying to remember. That team might be out of it, though. I can't remember.
Drake London and Darnell Mooney?
No, I picked up Mooney.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's surprising that he was available for you.
I mean, has Mooney done anything this year?
No, but you're right. 15 games with Cousins, like I said, averaged 12.5 fantasy points. My mid-range wide receiver 3 for me. What about, we're really diving deep here. I go hard or go home, but to a lesser extent, Andre Yosivash, is he someone that you can flex because of the news that we got that, Jamar Chase isn't going to be out there because he's serving that suspension? Obviously, T. Higgins is going to be the guy in this offense. Noah Fant could also, get picked up. Chase Brown through the year as well. But Andre Yosivash, someone you're flexing?
I think so, yeah. Again, we know that Higgins will see a lot of Christian Gonzalez, maybe not every play, but that certainly will make it a little bit more challenging. Yoshivas has an opportunity. We haven't seen much from him, so there's nothing to go on. But we've also seen in the past when he's had opportunities with Chase or Higgins out that he's done some things. So there's an opportunity here. They'll likely be playing from behind. It's a high total, and Joe Burrow could be back. So, again, there's always risk. How is Burrow going to look? But it was a toe injury. It wasn't a shoulder, elbow, arm. So he should be fine in that sense. So, yeah, I think Yoshivash is someone that you can look at in deeper leagues if you have bye week issues or injuries.
And you might see, he could get open more because you're expecting Higgins to get Christian Gonzalez this weekend. He's been their obvious New England's top corner. And he's gone up against solid receivers like we've seen Emeka Egbuka, Drake London this past month. I will not throw Jerry Jeudy in there, but he was there as well. So you're going to expect him to get, shadow coverage from him. So maybe we see a little bit more Andre Yoshivash. And Yosivash, if we do see Joe Burrow, they have had a connection before in the past. It hasn't been, mind-blowing or anything, but, they do have a little bit of chemistry there. So we'll see it. Again, we're waiting on the news with Joe Burrow. We're waiting on a lot of news, but we did get news that it's going to be a big day of just, I think lots going to change in our rankings. So we're going to update those as soon as possible. But yeah, there's a lot of big question marks going into the weekend. So again, Jaxson Dart is out for this game this weekend. If you didn't hear that, that is just now coming down. Breaking news. Jameis Winston is going to get the start for the Giants for week 12. We're going to continue on though. That was Go Hard or Go Home, presented here by Mike's Hard Lemonade. Let's talk about some of those big question marks, Adam, going into the weekend and matchup highs and lows. Guys that we want to highlight, guys that we say, hey, lower expectations because the matchup is so tough. We're going to break down those names here coming up next. Vibes are immaculate on this Friday. Our listeners are amazing, per usual, at Valenzuela 17, at Adam Ronis over there on X, making sure that you guys are up to date on all the news and notes you need to know going into week 12. Again, we just mentioned this, but Jaxson Dart is going to be out this weekend, so I want to make sure everyone is aware of that heading into it, which absolutely stinks, Adam, but what can you do? We'll have to wait another week to get Jaxson Dart back. It will be the Jameis Winston experience. I've got a few questions here that I want to make sure that we can get to, and again, you can send those in at Valenzuela 17, at Adam Ronis over there on X. I've got a trade here for you, Adam. This is from Jack. Would you guys do Brock Bowers and Devontae Adams for Bucky Irving and Justin Jefferson? He gets Bucky Irving and Justin Jefferson? Either way, no.
Yeah, we don't know what is the deal with Bucky Irving. If you're following the story on social media, there's been a lot of rumors going around with him.
Yeah.
Maybe he's back next week, but again, when he does come back, is he guaranteed the feature back role with the way Tucker has played and what White can do in the passing game? It's easy to say, well, yeah, he gets his job back, but he hasn't played since week 4, so they could ease him back in. Again, we don't know exactly what the status is for this week. There are reports out there that he's not playing. Nothing is official yet. I believe Bowles will obviously address it after practice today. But no, I can't do that now. I know Bowers has still been really good. The offense does hurt him. I mean, he had that 1 for 31 game against Denver. That was a short week, tough opponent, divisional game, but Bowers has been really good. It's just, to me, if you're acquiring Bucky Irvin, it's got to be a buy low. That's not a buy low.
No, that's the opposite of a buy low. Unless it's the other side. Sometimes unless he's getting Brock Bowers and Devontae Adams to give up Bucky and Justin Jefferson, then I would do it that way. But I don't read it that way.
Yeah, look,
he's getting Bucky.
Devontae Adams is insane with what he's doing because he's relying on touchdowns, and a lot of times we say, well, that can't continue. Well, when Matthew Stafford every time inside the 5 is just running the same play to Devontae Adams, it can continue, right?
Exactly.
I mean, he's scoring every single week. The yardage is not there at all. I mean, last week's line was comical. 1 catch, 1 yard, 1 touchdown.
But a touchdown. It's Devontae Adams, though. Like that, we talked about this in the offseason. That was my favorite move during free agency when he was able to go down there. And it's just like you said, it's looked good. Have there been lows? Yeah, absolutely. 7.1 fantasy points. You don't want that at all. But he's been involved in this offense. Their chemistry has gotten a lot better, like we said. And he's a threat in the red zone every single time. So you want to keep that going. Their fantasy football playoff schedule for most people, if you start week 15, Detroit at Seattle, which is going to be a huge game, and then at Atlanta. But this Rams team just looks dominant, so you keep Devontae Adams if you can there. I've got another one here from, oh my God, this is my favorite, Fanny Pack Mafia, because it reminds me to order you your fanny pack for Christmas with hand warmers in it for softball season.
For next fall. Well, actually.
No, you could use that now.
Oh, no, well, I'm not playing now.
Well, no, just for your walks, Adam.
Oh, I don't need it for my walks, but I could probably use it in April for softball season because April's cold. Every year, the first game we play, it's like 35 miles per hour winds and 38 degrees in April. It's like,
who picks
can we
that?
can we start the season a little later? I know, it's so
April
stupid.
April is insane. Even isn't May still a little bit cold?
It's not as bad as April. Yeah, it's not as bad. There could be some bad days, but you could also get an 80-degree day. So. But April, you do get, especially the first Sunday or two in April, it's never ideal.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good. So you are open to the fanny pack idea?
No, I never said that.
You just said that. You just said, hey, for my April games.
I don't need that. I'll tough it out.
I think we just heard that. That's fine. Anyway, from Fanny Pack Mafia, shout out to sending us these questions. Got a tough matchup this week. Do I start Pittman for wide receiver 2 or pray for a boom from Alec Pierce? He also says, or from Alec Pierce, Luther Burden or Michael Wilson. So I guess the question is starting Pittman, or do you like any of Pierce, Burden, Michael Wilson ahead of Pittman this week for that boom last chance? Again, saying it's a tough matchup, so I'm assuming he's an underdog in this one. Because when we look for those boom games and try and make those decisions, we say who could give us just the best outcome that we're looking at. Michael Wilson is interesting to me here because I'm going to be honest, I don't think I have him ahead of Pittman. So I have Pittman wide receiver 19 this week. This has got to be close. And then I've got Michael Wilson. Yeah, I've got Michael Wilson wide receiver 21. That's the interesting one to me.
It is close. I know after what we saw Wilson do last week, everyone wants to play him. Clearly, he's not going to repeat that, but he's got a good opportunity here with Brissett at quarterback. I lean Pittman.
I do too.
He's coming off the one bad game, but he's been consistent outside of that.
I will say, though, this Chiefs defense, they've allowed the 7th fewest fantasy points to receivers and only 9 passing touchdowns on the season. And if we get, we can't predict this, but if we get the Daniel Jones that we saw weeks 9 and 10 before their bye, you're going to probably have wanted to start Michael Wilson. But again, I say this as I have. I do have him ahead in the rankings, Michael Pittman Jr., but it's very close. So I think you just go with what you feel better with. If you think Michael Wilson and you're more comfortable with that, because again, like Adam said, you're not going to get that huge game again. We're just not going to see it, but you can still get a boom game because it's the Jacksonville Jaguars that they're facing. And when we've seen Michael Wilson, obviously without Marvin Harrison Jr., he's put up fantasy points with Trey McBride, 33.5 fantasy points last week, 15 receptions, 18 targets. Crazy.
Yeah, let's Pat Bryant at 82 yards and Troy Franklin at 84 against Kansas City. So can be done.
That can be done. All right. That's a really good question. Appreciate that one. We are going to continue on, though. I want to go through our favorite flex plays and continue talking through some of these matchups with these receivers, running backs, tight ends, everything that you need here. We're going to go through our flex plays coming up next. This is Fantasy Life. It is Friday. I can't say anymore, Adam, to leave work because then, Keon Coleman listens to us and then he doesn't play. No, I'm just kidding. If you want to leave work, though, you totally can. Or don't show up. No, I'm just kidding. Show up. It's been a great day, though. Great show. It goes by so quickly when we're having fun. Isn't that right?
It does. It does.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm sure a lot of breaking news will occur once the show's over.
Right when we leave.
We already got at least we got the Dart one in there.
Exactly. The Dart one, I'm more surprised. I thought he was going to play, to be totally honest with you, Adam.
I'm a little surprised, too, because yesterday they said that he was trending in the right direction. He was practicing. They just didn't have him clear a concussion protocol yet.
Whatever. That's what we get. I see Mikey send us a message here saying, Kendall, I'm willing to chip in with you getting Adam the fanny pack. We could stash a package of Folgers coffee and a candy cane burrito. Who says no?
What the
That's a
hell
great
are you
idea.
guys doing?
I love this idea. Mikey gets it. It's perfect. All right. Anyways, I guess back to fantasy football. Favorite flex plays. Do you have I was gonna go really deep because Ian did a write up on Isaiah Hodgins going up against the Lions, but now that we got Jameis, I don't know though, Adam. I think we have to downgrade obviously this offense. This is more of a leap of faith than anything else. But Hodgins, I did get a couple questions on him. If you're in a super deep format, he did play a very much full-time role, 81% of the routes, and he had 6 targets. That's something to pay attention to, at least maybe as a stash, if anything else.
I mean, look, if you're desperate, yeah. I mean, look, again, Winston's going to take chances and they'll be playing from behind. That's actually not a bad one for a deeper format.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to make this competitive either. They're going to be down a couple scores, so you know that they're going to be playing from behind, don't you think?
Oh, look, this is a easy bounce back spot for Detroit. They tend to always do this. You could see. Just look at Goff wearing those gloves. You knew it was over against Philadelphia. It was a bad spot on the road, cold, good defense. It was over. Now the Lions come home. Remember, they are outside of the playoff picture right now. Mm-hmm. They are going to absolutely pummel the Giants in this game. Massive game for Gibbs. He's going to go off. St. Brown will bounce back. I think they were asking him questions like, what's going on with you and Goff? Because it was, he had 2 catches on 12 targets. It was the matchup. It was outdoors. They're indoors. Massive bounce back week. So they'll be playing from behind, and that's what you have to hope with Winston, that he can somehow, put up that production late and not get intercepted 4 times.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Jared Goff, he should return closer to the form that we've seen him in over the last, 5 games? He's been averaging 18.3 fantasy points, 11 touchdowns, and 1 interception. So over the past 5. So that's probably someone that we can see, like you said, bounce back. And we hope that it's good to go this weekend because some people like me definitely need that. Just a couple others. Is Alvin Kamara flex worthy to you? I know we just talked about him. We had a couple of trade questions involving him because here's the thing. We don't want to get too far out ahead, right? Alvin Kamara had a better game than what we've seen all season long. And so if you're looking at, if someone's sending you a trade offer with you receiving Alvin Kamara, the one thing that Adam mentioned that I think is really good to bring back up is if this team continues to lose, they might shut him down because they just don't want to risk him getting injured. We know he wants to stay there for the rest of his career. But on the other side, Adam, he gave you 14.5 fantasy points, 22 carries in that one before their bye against Carolina, 83 yards. Flex worthy to you at home against Atlanta?
Yes, he played 64.2% of the snap, 25 touches, season high, 115 total yards. Still didn't score a touchdown. Yeah. I don't think he scored since week 1, but good matchup here against Atlanta. The vibes are down in Atlanta. Saints have some optimism, with Shuck looking good before the bye. I think he can produce in this matchup.
1 touchdown? If you would have asked me that, I thought I would have said maybe 3 because I don't have him anywhere.
Yeah, I don't have him
and none
either.
Through the air. It was 1 rushing touchdown.
That has been the biggest surprise. Well, maybe, I don't know if it. So this is where, because this is where you look at the coaching history and you go, Kellen Moore just doesn't throw to his running backs a lot. And then you're like, well, you have Kamara, this great pass catching back. You have to change it. And it hasn't changed because Kamara's that was the one thing. If you looked at him, you said, all right, they're going to be playing from behind. He's going to catch 3, 4, 5 passes. We're going to love that in a PPR. And that has not happened.
No,
Even last week, he only had 3 catches.
That's horrible. I mean,
and remember, too, with Taysom Hill there, he could come in near the goal line. He could play quarterback at the goal line and run the ball. He can play running back. So that hurts the touchdown possibilities for Kamara as well.
I mean, the most receptions he's had in a game this season is 6. And then he's only had 1, 5. Everything else is 4, 3, obviously 2, a couple 2s, and then 1s. That's what we're looking at with Kamara. It's not
what you expected out of him.
It's not what we're used to. That's absolutely for sure. All right, fantasylife.com. That's where you can go and check out the rankings. If we weren't able to get to your questions, make sure you go check out those rankings, the projections as well. And you can sign up for that Fantasy Life newsletter, fantasylife.com. All right, Adam, Colts Chiefs. Taking the Chiefs? Is that where we're going?
Yeah, I got to do it one more time.
Sound happy
Got to do
about
it.
it.
They're favored by 3.5 too.
To be totally honest, you didn't sound too happy about it. Vikings, Packers. Where are you going? Packers, huh?
Yeah.
Packers at home?
Yeah, so there's just a note came out that Josh Jacobs will practice again today in a limited capacity. LaFleur said Jacobs feels good.
He always, I mean, he's so tough. He just wants to go out there. So we probably think he plays that one. Bucks, Rams. Who are you taking?
Oh, the Rams.
All right. Eagles, Cowboys. Come on, say Cowboys. Do it for us. Do it for the people.
I can't.
Come on. Why not?
Can't.
Send them to a casino really quick. They'll be fine. Everything will be great. Oh my gosh. What a fun week. Appreciate everyone hanging out with us. Be safe this weekend. We will be back with you same time here on Monday. Good luck for week 12.